Good afternoon, traders. This is Tony D from the easyMarkets dealing room just before the RBA announcement, coming up in around about an hour and a half here. So those of you who have been watching the RBA, you probably noticed that they've been very neutral. Well, for the last 23 months, haven't done anything. And more of the same is expected. No economist is expecting a rate hike or rate cut in the 30 or 40 that have been surveyed for Reuters. There is some speculation there will be a change of language towards upside risks to inflation, also some sort of appreciation of recent robust data, and in particular, you know, the GDP numbers. They probably already have a heads up of what they're going to be tomorrow, and they're forecast to be annualized over 3%, so that's not too bad. Unemployment hasn't been too bad. Capex was a little bit disappointing, but I doubt that's going to be the main thing on their minds, and housing prices haven't really continued to fall too sharply either, so there shouldn't be too much of the negative outlook here, but I don't think they're going to drop the ball and to say something hawkish that would be interpreted by the Aussie, by the market to rally the Aussie, unless they did it by mistake, because the Aussie's already had a 2-cent rally. And it's in their interest to have the Aussie lower to help the economy rebalance post this mining boom that we had. Now on the topic of mining boom, though, what we have seen is commodity prices continue to rise in the last 24-48 hours, the base metals, that is. And that's really underpinning the Aussie dollar in its rally last night. You see the level that we drew yesterday on the charts at 74.40. It was tested and sort of closed above it. We have come back down, a little bit of profit taking ahead of this announcement, but you know, the US dollar, if it was going to reclaim control, could have done it more aggressively than it did. Definitely saw a little bit of regaining control against the euro at the 117.40 level, and against the pound at the 134-ish level. Let's see how high we got. About almost 134. So a little bit more aggressive in the reversal on the other majors. And so the dollar index is looking a lot better today than it was in the European session, that's for sure. But it's still by no means clear that the US dollar trend is going to continue sharply. So the battle is raging right now, and it's actually a pretty pivotal couple of days here. If we were to see a breakdown of the euro and the pound, you know, to the low 116s for the euro and the low 132s for the pound, then it's likely that the Aussie is going to be underneath 76. And the market talking about the continuation of the US dollar trend, where stabilization and a bit more range-bound price action probably will set up expectations for a bit more range trading in general. You know, as the market finds a new equilibrium for where the US dollar should be, because a lot of the US dollar good news is priced in now, and in regards for the further US dollar strength, you really sort of needed the Italian issue or Brexit issue, or just continued more negative on the outside causes rather than the US dollar itself. And at some point the market does find that level. And if you remember, the Eurozone had spent a lot of time trading between 105 and 115, and so 115 holding didn't go unnoticed by the market. And sort of, if you look back on these levels here that we're looking at on the weekly charts, this looks like it's held support. And so looking for ranging to holding in the short term. There's no real reason to be ultra negative, but we do have to establish where those bottom end of the ranges are, okay? And so they could be retested is the suggestion. Alright, if you have a question about some of these pairs or what's driving the US dollar, how you should check it each night and watching the pairs, look, you can come through the dealing room. We do post a lot of trades that have signified these actual trades that happened last night over the last few days on our TradingView site. I'll put the link to our TradingView channel below. And if you are a member of easyMarkets, or you're interested in learning a little bit more about trading, I'm holding a webinar tomorrow. I'll put the sign up on that as well in the link below the YouTube there. And if you have any questions about that, please don't hesitate to come through, or if you want a recording as well. If you're not a member of the easyMarkets dealing room, please sign up with the link below, and you'll also get access to the webinar and myself potentially if you become a VIP dealing room client.